Hi, I'm Numbert.
And I'm Sarge.
And you're watching Battle Gamer News.
Today we're reviewing Brutal Legend.
Brutal Legend is without a doubt one of the funniest video games of all time.
You play as Eddie Riggs, a jaded roadie who dies in a stage accident.
When a drop of blood falls on your cursed medallion, you are transported to the land of metal.
All isn't as awesome as it should be, though. Demons have enslaved the humans, and it's up to you to save humanity.
In the beginning, you join the human army, which consists of this guy named Lars, his sister, and a girl named Ophelia.
Over time, however, you free the enslaved headbangers and start a revolution.
Most of the story is in cutscenes, but for once I actually found myself liking them. The voice acting and writing is spot on, and everything turned out hilarious.
As expected, Jack Black did an amazing job of making his character come to life, and all of the other people are voiced really well, with some great cameos along the way.
The writing was done by Shafer of Monkey Island fame, and it all comes together nicely for an awesome metal fantasy experience. We're giving the plot a perfect 10 out of 10.
The graphics of Brutal Legend are by no stretch of the imagination realistic, but that doesn't mean they can't be awesome.
Every major landmark in the game looks like it could be straight out of a metal album.
The facial animations are spot on and really show the characters' personalities on their faces.
There's some really creative creatures and characters as well that populate the entire map, so there is always stuff to see and explore.
Almost all of the creatures have some way you can interact with them as well, such as turning a porcupine into a grenade or riding around on that thing.
The music is obviously drawing heavily on the metal genre, which is great for the mood.
Brutal Legend shows us that gritty hyper-realism isn't always necessary to make a game look awesome, so the graphics get a 10 out of 10.
The gameplay of Brutal Legend is really a mix of a whole bunch of different gaming styles, and it comes together really well.
Most of the missions will have you fighting with the hybrid of RTS and third-person fighting styles.
You can use your axe to find and hack up enemies in melee combat, or use your guitar for more ranged attacks like lightning or pyrotechnics.
Later in the game, you'll spend more time ordering around various metalheads and commanding the battle.
There are also several side missions that involve racing around in the Deuce that won't go rivaling Forza, but are a lot of fun nonetheless.
Along with the missions, there is also a ton to discover on the map.
There are motor forges for upgrading your car and characters, shrines for teaching you new songs to use as spells, vistas for looking at particularly interesting landmarks, as well as little areas where you can learn about the history of the metal gods.
All of the areas are fun, but they can get a bit repetitive, especially the regular combat.
There is a multiplayer mode that has 3 people fighting each other in the RTS mode.
It's pretty fun, but you can't be that specific with your controls, which is a little limiting.
Overall, the multiplayer very much takes a backseat to the single-player campaign.
The gameplay is fairly good, it just isn't that impressive and a little bit repetitive, so that's why we're giving it an 8 out of 10. Brutal Legend is an amazing game, delving deep into metal culture with its style. It's also genuinely hilarious. That's why we're giving Brutal Legend a 9.5 out of 10.
Thanks for watching Battle Gamer News. Subscribe and check back every week for more game reviews.